My name is Gavin Evans, and this is my review of Pandorum. And I've always wanted to watch this movie because of how badass the poster looks. I know it got terrible reviews and it flopped at the box office, but I still gave it a try and I'm glad I did. My favorite aspect of this movie is that it's a unique type of horror movie. How many horror movies have you seen where it's just people getting chased by someone with a knife in a neighborhood, or if it's ghosts and demons haunting a house? And there are some great variations of those movies, but I like it when there's a horror movie that feels distinct, that feels fresh, that feels new. And like this movie does that. I like the whole angle of this cannibalistic tribe on this spaceship. It's just something that will allow this movie to be remembered by me. I also thought the directing by Christian Avart was very good for the most part. This movie uses very little CGI, and the CGI we do get is actually great, but the production design in this movie is amazing. The environment feels alive, and the practical effects, the makeup on the creatures, top notch. Legitimately reminded me of the orcs from Lord of the Rings in the very best of ways. I also think this movie has a couple great plot reveals that I didn't see coming. I don't want to give anything away, but the ending I loved. And like this movie is filled with atmosphere, there's a few tense sequences, and the cast does a fine job. Ben Foster, very hit or miss actor for me. Sometimes he gives amazing performances, sometimes he's bland, and here he's kinda in the middle. He carries this movie well enough, but it's not one of his best performances. Dennis Quaid, I think, is actually kinda underrated as an actor, and he does a good job here. You've got Cam Sigant, Achi Chua, Long Lee, and Eddie Roos and Norman Reedus, and these are all fine, not memorable performances. So the cast isn't the standout of this movie. My issues here come from the fact the movie is just below 2 hours long. I feel like it's a bit bloated at like an hour and 20, hour and 25 minutes would have been the best lengths. That way the movie could have a bit more energy because it does feel dry in moments. I'm also not a fan of some of the editing in this movie. There was some moments where like shit's going down and it just cuts away from it too many times, and I'm like, what are you doing, movie? Like, come on. But those issues aside, I really enjoyed this movie. I think it has a fresh take on the horror genre. There were some very tense claustrophobic sequences that reminded me of The Descent. There are some great practical effects and production design, and it's a movie that I'd say if you're curious about it, don't expect a great movie, but you'll definitely get one worth watching. So I'll give Pandorum a 6.5 out of 10. Okay, have you seen Pandorum? What did you think? Let me know in the comments down below. Make sure you like, comment, subscribe. Stay tuned for more videos soon. And Gavin